Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery in King Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I have a toll-free number if you would like to call, leave a message, encouragement, ask a question, whatever it may be. The number is 1-888-524-1932. That's in the United States. Anyone outside of the U.S., simply put a plus in front of the 1, and it's the exact same number. I hope to hear from you.
Today I'm going to talk about a topic that seems to be extremely popular, not just inside of prison, but outside of prison, and that's the prison weight pile. And I mean, I get it. You got some dudes in here that are seriously jacked. I'm talking, you got some monsters in here. You got some big dudes. I am not one of them size-wise, just heart-wise. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about the weight pile, from things I've seen on television and in movies, for things, I've read about in books, even exercise books. You have a lot of guys that's never, ever been in prison. They're personal trainers, and they write about the prison weight pile, and pretty much everything they say is wrong. So I'm going to set the record straight today, because I'm finally, for the first time in my life, in a prison that actually has 2 weight piles. People say, especially, the physical trainers and so on and so forth, that's never actually stepped foot inside of a prison. What they don't realize is we don't have the best equipped gyms in the world. We don't get to lift weights for, 10 to 12 hours a day every single day. That's not the way it works. Mainly because most of the prisons in America were built decades ago. You have some newer prisons, but the new prisons don't have weight piles on. They're not allowing weight piles in the new prisons. It's only the older style prisons, like here in King Mountain. For example, Red Onion, Sussex 1, Sussex 2, Waller's Ridge, River North. These are the newer built prisons in Virginia, and not a single one of them has a weight pile. As a matter of fact, those prisons are built on a much smaller scale, and they do it for a particular reason: the fire code. The fire code in America only allows a certain amount of inmates on the pod floor at a time. And the reason why they're building these prisons smaller is so that they can split the tiers up. So that means the bottom tier will come out for rec for 1 hour, and then they will lock down. And then the top tier will come out for rec for 1 hour, then they will lock down, and they will seesaw back and forth like that. That allows them to keep a smaller number of inmates on the pod floor. And they do that not because of, the potential for fights or anything like that. That potential is the same whether there's 2 people on the floor or there's 200 people on the floor. When you put prisoners together, eventually you're going to fight. That's just the nature of the beast in here. They do it out of sheer laziness. Most of the correctional staff are extremely out of shape. Extremely. You have a few here or there that, they're good to go. I can name a couple of them. 1 or 2 of them, hell, even I wouldn't want to tangle with. I would, but I wouldn't want to. But 98% of your prison staff are extremely out of shape. I'm talking about walking up the steps, they're out of breath. Like they can't even walk up the steps. So when it comes to the weight pile, that hinders us because of the fire code, because of the staff being so out of shape themselves. They don't want us lifting weights. So we don't get hours and hours and hours every single day to lift weights. As a matter of fact, you only get access to the weight pile 3 days a week. For maybe, if you're lucky, an hour and a half to 2 hours. And that's on a great day. Usually you get about 45 minutes to an hour. Now, we don't get the best of equipment. As a matter of fact, you've got, we got 2 weight piles. You got one on the lower yard, you got one on the small yard, and there's no weight pile on the upper yard. The upper yard is just, we call that the walk-around yard because it's pretty much all you can do on that yard is walk around because there's nothing else on there to do. They got a volleyball net out there, but it's just hard-packed dirt. Ain't nobody playing volleyball on hard-packed dirt. They got a pull-up bar. That's it. Other than that, you go out there and you either talk or you run around or do push-ups or whatnot. But back to the weight pile. On the small yard, you've got about 10 bench presses. Now, of those 10, 6 of them are broken. I mean, broken to the point where you can't, they're just basically a metal frame. They don't have no padding, no cushion. I mean, they're in really bad shape. They don't take care of them. And that's inmates included. You got some inmates out there that are just, they think if they break state stuff, that's hurting, the administration by making them pay for. Man, the administration ain't paying for it. These benches have been broken for years. I mean, they're rusted out. The only thing that's hurting is us, the guys that are trying to go out there and work out. See, right now, I'm in the position where when I want to go out, if I want to get a particular bench or if I want to get, some particular weights, say the 30s. Yesterday, I went out to get the 30s and I couldn't get the dumbbells. Because guys had beat me out. Because you got a lot of guys, when they go out on the rec yard, they take off. I mean, they hauling ass running down there just so they can get there first because it's first come, first serve. So far I haven't seen anybody get there late and, try to poke their chest out and be like, yo, look, man, I'm taking this bench, man, get the fuck off here. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe in some of the other pods, it hasn't happened in my pod and the pod next door because we're the only, A1 and A2 are the only 2 pods that work together. And that's just because I'm in the old man's pod and A2 is the kitchen pod, so most of them are at work every day. Now, we can't adjust the weights. It's all welded together. If you ever heard the term pig iron, it comes from prison because the weights are welded together. Why they call that pig iron, I don't know. I'm actually interested in that, so if somebody can find that out, shoot an email to redonionrandy.com and let me know. Because I am curious to the history of that word, why they call it pig iron, but that's what pig iron means. It means weights that are welded together. You get, let's see, crap, you got a 70-pound barbell, you got a 95-pound barbell, 115, a 135, a 155, a 185, you got a 205, a 225, a 275, and a 305 barbell. And that's it. And then you got a decent selection of barbells. They go from 15s all the way up to 100. As a matter of fact, there's this dude named Paulie here that I'm pretty cool with. He actually helped me out with some knowledge and stuff when I first got here, when I first started lifting weights. This dude is about 6'3", about maybe 225. He's pretty ripped. I mean, he's not a huge guy. He's the only person on this compound that I know of that's taking 100-pound dumbbells, and he's doing shoulder flies. He's doing shoulder presses. This dude is curling them. He's doing overhead tricep extensions with 100-pound dumbbells. Yesterday, I couldn't get to 30, so I had to do 35s. I do 35s, 25s, and then 20s. And I superset. So I'll superset the tricep extensions with bent over tricep kickbacks. And I'll do them with the 35s. I'll max out with that. Then I'll set them down, grab the 25s, max out with them, set them down, grab the 20s, and max out with them. And it's working for me. It's putting a little size on me. I was struggling with the 35s because I couldn't get the 30s. This dude is doing the same freaking thing with 100-pound dumbbells, and he's not seriously jacked. He's just freaking strong as an ox. You know, and he's been lifting for a long time, and you would think that he would be 275 pounds of pure muscle, but he's not. And this is where a lot of people that lift weights go wrong. They think strength comes from muscles. Your strength does not come from your muscles. Your strength comes from your joints and your tendons. If you strengthen your joints and your tendons, that's when you are going to get extremely strong. That's when you're going to be able to do some crazy feats of strength. It does not come from your muscle. Your muscle is nothing but show. That's all your muscles are for. It's just to simply look good and feel good. True, genuine strength and power comes from joints and tendons and the speed you can use with that strength. Speed times strength equals power, which is one reason why I don't want to get too big. You know, but it's funny, man, because you see guys out there and you look at them and you have this misconception of them. Like, oh man, I'd easily whoop that dude's ass. Because, you know, there's a dude here, they call him Jew Boy. He's about 5'5". He's got a little size to him, but he's got like a gut on him. He's got a pretty good beer gut on him. And, you know, just because he's so short and he's kind of fat and everything, you look at him and think like, oh man, I'd dust his ass off. He bends down and grabs a 275-pound barbell, 85, whatever it is. And it's like it's in a piece of candy. You know, and that's the thing I do like about the weights. You see these guys out there. You got this really, really skinny guy. Like, this dude is out there. I mean, like, he's extremely skinny. Like, he makes me look big when I'm standing beside him. Even though he's like 5 inches taller than I am, I look jacked compared to this dude. And yet he's out there lifting freaking weights that I can't even look at them just yet. The only reason I can't build muscle doing calisthenics purely is because I can't get the proper nutrition. I can't eat right. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be lifting weights right now. Now, I have grown to enjoy lifting weights. I definitely understand and see the appeal in lifting weights because, you know, when you're lifting, let's say 155, I mean, that's 155 pounds of dead steel. I mean, it's just dead weight. That's difficult. I mean, you see guys thinking, oh man, I can do 220, I can do this and that, and you really can't. And yes, I was one of them. Before I came down and actually lifted weights for the first time, I genuinely thought I could bench press to something straight out the gate. And the reason why I thought that is because at Buckingham back in 2000 when I was there, they had a universal machine on the weight yard. And I put it on 250, which was the max. And I was able to do sets of 10. I mean, I was benching it 10 times. And I thought, okay, you know what, I'm doing 250 on the machine, take about 40, 50 pounds off, I can do 200 on the steel. No, when I actually first got here, I actually struggled to do 115. I struggled to lift a 115-pound barbell. Now I'm up to 155 pounds, and I got that 4 and about 3/4 of the way up. And that last little bit, my workout partner had to grab it and pull it up the rest of the way for the 5th rep. But, I went, in 2 months, I went from 115 to 155. Like, I was getting good strength gains out of it. But this is the thing. I genuinely believe that you get much stronger doing calisthenics than you do lifting weights. And the reason why is this. If a person has never done push-ups before, and he goes and he lifts weights, you can get to where you're lifting 300-400 pounds, and it will not help you do push-ups. Lifting weights will not help you to get stronger doing calisthenics. Yet, calisthenics, if you start doing push-ups, and there's a guy in here, my workout partner named Ryan, he lifted weights. And he was struggling to lift heavy, like he really couldn't lift a lot. And then he kind of hurt his shoulder. So he fell off of the weights, and for months, he just started doing push-ups. After his shoulder healed up enough to where he wanted to go out and try to lift weights again, he went out and threw up 195 like it was nothing. So I'm a purist when it comes to it.
You have 1 minute remaining.
The weight pile is slowly fading away in prisons. And I think that's a sad thing, because we're already stripped of pretty much every other form of anything to do. Like, there's nothing to do in prison anymore. So when they eventually phase out all the weight piles because the COs can't handle us anymore, because we're out there lifting and getting stronger and bigger and in better shape, the frustration level is just going to go through the roof. There's going to be a lot more violence. I hope this clears up, some of the knowledge on the weight pile and everything, and thank you for listening to me today.
Don't forget to check out my website, redonionrandy.com. I'm also on Twitter at redonionrandy. And I have a toll-free phone number, 1-888-524-1932 in the U.S., and put a plus in front of it for all international calls.
Thank you for using GTL.